I'm Alan Trees. I'm the inventor of the Gold Grabber Gold Pan. As you can see, it has a long raceway in the bottom of the gold pan. It has riffles that are inverted riffles, and the pan is elongated so that we can do our final cleanup. When you're using this pan, only fill it about 1/3 full, and when you just leave your rocks and everything in the pan, and when you take the pan, always float it in the water a little bit. What that does is it takes the pressure off your back and it floats like a boat, and you can get really vigorous with it. As you can see, I'm spinning it around. The pan can be used in any angle, any side. This is just my technique. Everybody has their own technique. And as you see, don't be afraid to tip the pan up on edge and pan over the riffles. Take it and work your material to the bottom, and then 1, 2, 3, bring it back again to the bottom of the pan. 1, 2, 3, and you notice now we have it just down to the concentrate. The pan is a prospecting tool, not a piece of mining equipment. Therefore, we're just using it to test the area to see if there is any gold. Back and forth and back and forth. You don't have to shake your material. As you can see, the concentrate stays at the upper end of the pan. The light material washes away. This year we have a rocker. It's made for using as the traditional old style rocker from the 1800s, and we've converted it to a hand operated water pump so it doesn't require any dipping from the river. And you just take your rocker and it snaps onto this frame. Like so, and it just mounts on top of this frame, and then you have a linkage. We have a hand pump on this side that runs with no motorized equipment. It doesn't have an engine. All it does is just strictly a bilge pump. We hook the linkage up right there. We put the pin in. We got a classifier. The classifier that comes with it is a 1/4 inch. You can put any size classifier that fits in any bucket. Snaps in place right there. And then we have our water supply, which is a spray bar. We mount this on top, and we screw that in place. All you do is dump into the classifier, take your material, wash it back and forth, and you can see you got a good supply of water all the time. And you can look down into the riffles. You can see the riffles working back and forth. You see that center bar? It's working the material from side to side, breaking the surface tension of the water, forcing the gold down into the expanded metal. And as you can see, we don't have any gasoline motors running, we don't have any noise. It's perfectly quiet. You take your material, and then when you're done, all you do is just lift your classifier out, dump your rocks out. I'm Alan Trees. I'm the inventor of the Gold Grabber. This is my Gold Grabber high banker. We've sold about 17,000 Gold Grabbers since 1976. As you can see, it has changed a little bit. It's not a sheet metal one anymore. It's all polyethylene, and it's a high banker. And if you notice, it has ports on the side of the machine. That's so as the rocks are washed off, you can shovel up to 3.5 inch material into the hopper, the small rocks, and they all wash off and come out the side. The material is held in this throat long enough to wash and separate the gold because it has a built-in grizzly. When you shovel into the hopper, the spray bar washes the material, and the material is washed back and forth, and the gold is exited into the upper end of this drawer. And when the gold gets to the drawer, the water reverses, the water comes out the front. And when you reverse the water flow, you alter the flow of the water, and the gold will separate immediately because you're changing direction of the water, and it stops in this recovery drawer. Now the Gold Grabber has a built-in grizzly, and the gold goes through this grizzly plate, and as you can see, the rocks exit out the ports on the side, and your gold, once it gets through this grizzly, it is contained in the throat of the Gold Grabber, and it cannot be spilled or lost. It'll immediately go to the recovery drawer. Okay, the Gold Grabber is made up of 2 parts. This is the hopper with the spray bar, and this is the main body. It has a recovery drawer 99% of your gold stops in that recovery drawer, even though it has a secondary recovery on the front. That is only for secondary recovery. The gold will be in this drawer. And all you do is just plug the drawer in, and you mount the hopper on top, and then we hook up the water flow, and we're ready to start shoveling. Okay, you can tell when you have about the right amount of flow. You got about a ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch of water coming off the front here. And it's pretty much level across here. You see all the lawn sands get washed off the front. It's about 1.5 inch drop from the back to the front. The mini gold grabber is just a smaller version of the larger one. It has all the same features. You have the hopper and the drawer and the outlet port on this side, except for this one has a hand pump on there where we don't have to run a motor with it if we don't want. First you just take a 5-gallon bucket and you fill it full of rock so you have a nice steady base, or a good solid base. You set that right on the bucket. Those legs go right around there. I like to take this strap and strap it around the edge. It just makes it a little bit more solid. Does everything that the full-size one does, it just doesn't do it as fast. So if you're in an area where you're limited on the amount of water that you have, or if you're deep in a canyon where you can't pack all your equipment in there, this actually does a really nice job. Now what we're doing is we're disconnect this hand pump, and we're going to hook this up to the full-size gold grabber. And we like to do that because that way 2 men can be shoveling in the big one. But if you got kids that want to find their own gold, this is perfect. It's just as simple and as basic as the big one. It's just a smaller version.